Welcome, everyone. I am starting in a minute early, so feel free to join in with us. We're all practicing over here. Might as well have you join us. We're going to start with a little bit of twisting, a little bit of our practice called the gentle drum. So this is our swinging and twisting and letting the hands just sort of tap the body. And if you're comfortable with that, you can also lift the heel on this one. Takes the pressure off of the joints. There's another way to do this one. Maybe we'll do that one today also. But this is our basic practice, a little warm up. And those of you that have trained with me before, you know that I like to go from movement to stillness. So in this one, we're going to go and add that to our practice here. Coming out of this movement practice, we will eventually go to stillness. The longer we move, okay, so let's just say you didn't really know too many Qigong practices and you had 20 minutes and you only knew a couple, like the ones that we're doing here, this one, and then standing tree meditation. You can put those two together really nicely, where you do this for about 10 minutes and then boom, you go to stillness for 5 minutes. You go back to this one for 5 minutes and then back to stillness for 5 minutes, something like that. Anytime you go from movement, moving that blood, moving that chi, moving that breath, and you become very physically still, it accentuates and highlights your experience of what's happening internally. Speaking of highlights, this month is the month of April. And this month, every month, we have a highlight, right? We have a highlight where we accent something in particular. Last month, we were emphasizing the heart chakra. This month, we are emphasizing this thing called meditation. Which, of course, Qigong is meditation in and of itself. It's meditation in movement. It's also meditation in stillness. But we're going to put an emphasis on meditation. See if we can give a deeper understanding and deeper meaning to what that actually is and give an experience of it. Let your breath come in, exhale your breath out. Just get into this. Take a little vacation into your practice. And remember, if you have stress or anxiety comes when the energy is no longer moving. It is kind of stuck, okay? It's moving some, but it's stuck. Simple explanation for now. So practice this right here and keep it moving. If you keep your energy moving, you will find that your brain and your nervous system stops running that same stressful negative loop. Okay, so if you suffer with that, you have that kind of challenge or that problem, you are perhaps not moving your body enough. So get up and move your body around. Practice some twisting, some movement of breath, of blood, of chi. And then all of a sudden, when you finish your practice, you'll be like, oh, wow, my mind is so much clearer. Continuing to inhale, exhale every once in a while, focusing on getting a breath in, breath out. We're doing this one a little longer than we usually do as a warm-up. And I'm doing that very purposefully for our meditation class today, having an emphasis on meditation. So soon, we're going to go from all this movement to being still. And when you become physically still, you may notice a lot of internal movement happening within your body, within your blood, within your energy system. So when we do that, okay, momentarily we'll go into a standing tree meditation. Remember, it's very important you put your mind when we stop, okay? When we stop, it's very important that you put your mind down into your feet and you sink your weight ever so slightly. I'll show you how to do it. Most of you know how to do it already. But make sure you put your mind down into your feet because you're going to get a little rush of energy. You're going to get a little rush of blood. You want to make sure you're nice and grounded. So I'm going to let that unwind. I hold the feet to the floor. I imagine like screwing them in. I sit my weight ever so slightly down. I bring my hands out, hovering, opening up the armpits a little bit here. And then I want to freeze. Don't try and breathe. Instead, practice patience, waiting for your breath to change because it's about to change. You may also notice the saliva in your throat starting to change. Stay very still. Remember, relax your legs as much as possible while still holding enough tension that you are holding yourself up. It takes a little practice to find the in-between, what actually works best for you. Now, I heard somebody in the room take a deep breath, but I also know that that breath was not something that she took. It was more like the breath just came. When that happens to you, we call that a kidney breath. The kidneys in Oriental Medicine, they control the inhalation. So right now you're practicing patience, waiting for a breath. It's the best kind of breath there is. It's the kind of breath that takes you. You don't take the breath takes you. But until you have just enough qi, until you have just enough energy built up in your lower dantian that begins to feed the kidneys, that breath is not going to happen. And it differs every day as to where that breath is and what it's doing. I could tell you that the collective here, you at home and also those that are here, I can feel it and sensate it, that the collective has not yet made the breath. So we're going to stay with it a little longer to see if we can get this breath shift. Now remember, we're not forcing it to happen. We're just standing here, staying still, holding the posture. And if for any reason you need to shake it out and start over again, go right ahead. You're getting too stiff, you're uncomfortable, you feel lightheaded, you're not used to it yet, no problem. Just start over. But otherwise, stay with it just a little bit longer here. Now with an inhale, breathe in through your nose and make a humming sound. You can even say the word hum. So you inhale and you hum. In yoga, they call that oming, but this is a very soothing sound to the parasympathetic nervous system. Inhale, exhale, hum. Inhale. Inhale, exhale, go ahead and bring your feet up and down like so, just kind of marching, tapping the feet on the floor, getting a little bit grounded there. Step your feet out, light tapping here on the low back, light tapping on this area of the kidneys, whatever you can sort of reach there. Be careful, don't hurt yourself. And then coming down here into the upper buttocks and tapping, either both hands at the same time or one at a time, whatever works for you there. Tapping around this area. Then turning to flat hands, coming down the outside, coming up the inside, going around the hips, back down the outside, up the inside, tapping whatever's comfortable for you, tapping the buttocks again back here, sides, inside, outside. We're going to do this 2 more times. 1 time. And 2 times, come back up, step yourself out, make sure you have a nice root, nice foundation. First thing is get grounded, sit your weight down and just make sure, like if you shift your weight like so, that you are grounded and rooted down in your legs. Check your upper body, lift your hands, let them fall. That's how you know you don't have too much stress and tension in your shoulders. So I'm checking it out down here and I'm starting to circle my weight and shift it. So it starts with a little lean like so to one side, then I lean back a little, and then I shift my weight over to the other side, and then I'm making a circle. It's similar to this type of thing where somebody moves their hips, but instead of moving the hips, be careful, but I'm moving through the knees and the hips, and I'm shifting my weight with my legs. So my weight goes more to my right side, then a little bit toward my back side, then over to my left side. You can see me elongate the right leg. And then I come back over. And you can also place your hands, if you desire, right there on your hips. Finding, checking out, tuning in with the mobility in your legs or the lack of mobility in your legs, and then circle it the other way. Again, very similar to this type of movement where we just move the hips, but in this case, I'm leaning my weight, moving my butt a little bit toward the back, shifting my weight over to my other leg, coming around in a circle. And then from that position, I'm going to elongate one leg a little bit, like so. I'm going to lean to a side. From that position, you can do whatever is comfortable with your hands, just making sure that you have good balance there. 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we're just going to shift our weight to the other side. 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we're going to shift our weight to the other side. 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we're going to shift our weight. 2, 3, 4, 5. And then come back, tap out even like this with your hands now. A little bit more tap. It's the gallbladder meridian. It's going to stay right here, right in the heart of the gallbladder meridian. After that, it gets the chi out of it. Blood and chi, they travel together. Technically, bring your middle fingers together. Touch them at the lower rim of your belly button. Technically, it is said that chi commands the blood. Chi commands the blood. So let's talk about high blood pressure for a minute. If someone has high blood pressure, do you think the chi is causing it? Well, from a Chinese medicine standpoint, yes, the chi is causing it. It is a particular kind of chi that is causing the high blood pressure. Something's happening with the chi that is causing stagnation. It's also causing what? Pressure. It's in the name. High blood pressure. Okay, so knees slightly bent here. You don't want to cut off your circulation. Your middle fingers are lightly touching together, holding the lower rim of your belly button. And if you're starting to get warm, then you're starting to stoke the fire of what is called your lower dantian. If you happen to get some saliva change, some breath change, and even a yawn like I just did right there. The yawn is a really good sign that you're starting to unravel that rope called your large intestine going all the way up into your throat. Okay, it starts as a large intestine, but then comes all the way up to your throat as the esophagus, and you have this hole in your mouth, right? Your mouth has a hole and your anus has a hole, right? So these are opposite ends of the same rope, a very, very important role within your body, within your being. Very important to learn how to unravel the knots that get caught up along the way with stress and so on in the stressful environments that we tend to live in at these days and times. And perhaps for a long time on planet Earth, but here we are. Some of you may start feeling shaky, like right in your core, while you're holding this position. This position is creating a spiritual heat and a spiritual fire. As always, if you feel lightheaded, you feel something going on that's not right for you, always take a time out. Go sit down, get a sip of water. It's all good. You can always come back. Notice if you feel almost like tension building in your body, but at the same time, you almost feel like you're about to take a deeper breath, but you can't. If you notice that, make note of it, because that's what's happening for many of you, so including me. So pay attention to that. And pay attention to that warmth that you may be feeling that's building in your belly, building in your core, starting to come up through your body, perhaps starting to move down through your legs, so on. Inhale, exhale. We're going to do a little just tapping out there, grounding out. Let's say you had high blood pressure and you were just trying to lessen your stress. So when we have high blood pressure, the root is contracting, the root is down here, and the root is contracting, and it's shoving that red energy up toward the head, and you'll even see people in their face and stuff, they get very red, and so on. The blood is going up to their head. So we need to bring the blood and the chi down. Now remember, chi commands the blood. So what we do with the chi, what we tell the chi to do, and by the way, what commands chi? The mind. Mind commands the chi, chi commands the blood. All right, so here's a basic exercise for high blood pressure, but also just alleviating stress and also creating that parasympathetic response for rest and digest, as opposed to, you ever felt that? You're like, stress, and for some people it turns into like heartburn, but even if you don't get the heartburn, a lot of people, like, they almost feel like their stomach is up in their, okay, that's the experience, okay? We want to change that. We want to make a difference in that, because that creates a lot of excess inflammation. All right, so bring this one hand up, okay? And then palm facing the forehead. And you start bringing it down like a magnet. You can even see like a red color stuck to your palm. And then when you get down to about the chest, like the heart area, we're going to calm, sometimes it's called calming the shin. We're going to calm the heart mind here. And you're going to push this right down past the navel center, right down through that root chakra into the earth. We'll sweep that off to the side. We're going to come up with the other hand. And same thing, we're going to pull that off of the forehead or down the center, however you want to think about that. Turn the palm as we reach the chest, down, pressing down. Same, sweep it to the side. Qigong is so much about what you do with your mind, not just with your body. So walk your hand down slowly. Notice as you pass through the throat area, it may even change your saliva there and how you're breathing. Press this one down into the ground. When you're ready, no rush, go to the other hand, switching back and forth. One hand, down. Now, right now, that's causing me to burp a little bit. You may notice that sensation yourself. That is part of the rest and digest that can start to unfold in the body here with this particular practice. That's like a good sign. It's like a good thing. Because again, your body going back to that rest and digest. We go one more when you're ready. I'll rush. And then reach up, big waterfall here. Like water coming down. It's another excellent exercise, doing it with two hands. And then we're going to sink the weight as we exhale. Come up slow. Nothing too big as far as the breath. And then just exhale. sinking weight in mind, making yourself heavy in toward the ground. Here, you're a little lighter, and then here you get heavier. On this one, I'm going to let the breath out of the mouth. I could do like an HA sound, like good for calming the heart. Inhale, exhale. Good. Now stand here, standing tree meditation for just a minute while I talk to you about how we're going to change that exercise ever so slightly. This gives us an opportunity to check into our energy and see how did that influence our energy system. So just be still for a moment in standing tree meditation, standing like a tree in the forest. Eventually with Qigong practice, if you practice it long enough, it would be awesome if you got to a place where you could just stand there with the people in the room with you, or on the computer with you, or in the forest with the trees, and you just stand there. And you don't, once your mind gets used to it, your mind will become quiet. Until your mind becomes used to it, you're a beginner, your mind will be very noisy. What should I be doing? What am I supposed to be doing? What am I supposed to be thinking about? I wonder when this class is going to be over. All of that will go on. The vacation comes in when you practice just long enough. One day, you're standing there like a bunch of trees. You're in the zone, the Qigong zone. So let's take a minute to stay in that Qigong zone to the best of your ability. Make sure you place your mind in your feet, especially if you're going to close your eyes. And if you're a beginner, you might want to keep your eyes open so that you don't get too saucy. Inhale, exhale, march the legs a little bit. For most people, that's going to make you stiff. And the reason that you're getting stiff is why, those of you that remember, the reason why is not because you're just standing there. You're getting stiff because you're becoming aware of something. You're becoming aware of stuck energy. You're becoming aware of stuck emotion. And you know what it feels like? What do they call it, Val? Pain. Yeah. That's what they call it. Okay, it's called pain. All right, so we need to keep the blood and we need to keep the chi moving. All right, now, again, this is not an aerobics exercise. This is, you're putting that energy into the floor, excess from your legs. When you practice Qigong, stuff gets broken up and then it's got to have somewhere to go. One of the places you can make it go, so to speak, you put it into the ground. Also, when we're marching like this, remember this calf muscle back here, gastrocnemius, referred to as the second heart. You're pumping blood from your legs back to your lungs, back to your heart to be reoxygenated. So if we go just a little bit quicker, not like, depending on where you're at with it, we don't want to go fast, but if you go just a little quicker than whatever you were doing, you go movement, 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 then go to your tree meditation, sink your weight, and let that blood and let that chi start coming up. Now, the blood and the chi is coming up. That's why you need to keep your mind in your feet, because you need to stay anchored. Otherwise, you're going to feel like woo-woo, okay? All right, bring the hands down below the navel center. You're going to go this way from right side here, liver, gallbladder up here. We're going to come across, we're going to go down, right through, under, around the navel center. We're going to come back out and we're going to move slow, not too fast. We can do it fast sometimes, but moving slow, move the chi this way. This is the direction that the digestion wants to go. From liver, gallbladder, over here to stomach, spleen, and down, round. Move the chi over, move the chi down. Pull it across, move it up toward liver, gallbladder, push it across. Notice that that's starting to change your saliva. If it is, then you know that you're starting to influence that parasympathetic rest and digest system. Come across and down. Up, round, and down. And go a little quicker if you want. Exhaling your breath as you're doing this. You might feel like you just naturally want to exhale through your mouth here. And exhale some of that as you've been holding in your gut. And then bring the hands back and around, hold the kidneys. Pause there for a moment. Watch your breath, your blood, your digestion. Inhale your breath. Exhale your breath and either go to the backs of your knees, or if you're more flexible, you can go all the way down to the backs of your feet. Either way, you're going to come around the outside. You come up the inside of your legs, tracing the inside of your legs. Kidney meridians are there. Kidney meridians are here, right along the outside of the navel, up the center line. This is an inhale. We exhale here. From here, we pull, inhale. We exhale, go down. Inhale, we come up. Exhale, we come down. Two hands hold the feet to heal, bring healing to the kidneys and the waist. Inhale. This is one of the 8 brocades exercises. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale as you're going down. Inhale, you come up. Opening up the energy system. Really get in sync with that breath to the best of your ability. I'll do a couple more of these all the way through. I'll have one more. And before we stop, pause, and go into our standing tree meditation, let's go right into another Qigong exercise where we're bringing up the energy like this, like you're picking up water or something. Then here, a slight arch, okay? From here, we take one hand on top of the other, doesn't matter which one. Imagine sending the chi up the spine. As you come back up, you're inhaling, slow and easy, slow. Inhale. The reason for the arch is to try and get the breath all the way down below the belly button. Exhale the breath. Your speed coming up, slow and easy. Inhale, hold the breath there at the top. Exhale in. When you hold the breath down there below the belly button, you're activating the lower dantian. Exhale. Very few people breathe down below their belly button. So we're trying to, even though it's tight in there. In yogic practices, they refer to that area as the first knot, the first psychic knot. Wow. One more. From here, you're hanging, and now you're swinging. Okay, you're going to pick a side to go up on. When you go up, stay close to your body. You'll reach up. You're just going to come around like so. And we're going to swing 4 times. 1, 2, 3. The 4th time, you're going to just come up. And you're going to go all the way around. Slow. 1, 2, 3. 4th time, you'll come up and around. You're stretching and you're moving all at the same time. Holding your core somewhat taut. Being mindful about the movement. And then when you get back to the center, if it's comfortable for you to hang, hang. So whether you're holding your shins, your knees, or you're touching the floor, and just some degree of hanging for your body. But be careful, be mindful of what you're doing, and breathe. If you desire, you can reach with your left hand, for example, towards your right foot or your right knee. Breathing with a little bit of a twist to it. And then going toward that other foot, the opposite hand. Whatever is the easiest way to bring your feet closer together, and then reaching down towards your toes or the floor. Always breathing. Slowly coming up out of there. Interlace your fingers. First hand's coming here, then fingers interlace. If you have any issues with arthritis or something, don't interlace your fingers. But the hands will then come up and they're going to press above your head. This one's called upholding the sky or uplifting the sky. I'm going to go a little wider stance just so you can see me in the computer, but this is typically done with shoulder width stance. Release. And exhale my breath. Inhaling as I'm drawing the chi from the ground. I hold my breath at the top. I hold it in the lower belly. I exhale my breath. Inhale, reach up, press, hold up the sky. Just let your breath out right there. Slightly different ways to do this one, but if we just let the breath out, then we don't have to worry about it. We can stay here and kind of stretch for a moment. Use your breath as it's comfortable to do that. Then on an inhale, you inhale and then release on the exhale. Draw from the ground, slow. Very good. Let's go into some gentle drum, and I'm going to come back to that exercise, and I want to show you all and share with you a subtle detail that is important for some of you that you're going to need to watch yourself because I can't see you all. So it'll help you to understand whether you're doing it right or not as right. So and it's going to have to do with the breathing. Inhale, exhale your breath. Once again, we'll let that unwind. We'll come to a stationary standing tree meditation. If you're not comfortable with your eyes closed, don't close them. Just sort of look at the floor. If you're comfortable with eyes closed, make sure you put your mind in your feet. And just for fun, let's connect the red and the do channel by touching the tip of the tongue behind the two front teeth, the roof of the mouth. For those of you that have some meditation skill, a little bit. First, number one, make sure you have your mind in your feet. Number two, then take your mind and bring a focus to the third eye, right between the eyebrows, frontal lobe of your brain, forehead. Bring that mindset there. Extend that energy and that intention down, all the way down into your legs, down into lower dantian, down into your legs, down into the floor, holding the tongue. And now imagine an energy current coming up your spine, goes over the top of the head, comes down through the head, goes through the tip of your tongue, through your tongue, down into the center line of your body, goes down the front of your body, inside, goes right down through the crotch area and comes right back up into the spine. This is called the microcosmic orbit. And inhale, exhale. Get down to a little bit of your horse stance. You're going to take your right hand and like you're going to put your thumb in your ear. Then you're going to put the back of your hand on top of your head. The thumb points in a forward direction, pushing forward. Now, like if you're in a pool, you're going to pull this pool water, bring it to the front, and you'll lift it like a teacup. And today we're going to extend it away. So it's not pushing it away, you're just extending your arm and your chi. Okay. So from this position here, just let that hand go to the side. We're gonna go to the other hand. It's like left thumb to left ear, but then palm goes to the head like we're doing this stretch where we sometimes stretch. We're here. Thumb goes forward. You pull the chi. In this case, imagine the water, for example, in the pool. You're going to push it forward from this bottom position. You then lift it up. Your hands may be coming out of the water, for example. Then from here, slight rock back. Be very careful, but it's so slight. And then this extends forward. And I'm going to go with my right hand again. Go thumb, ear, comb my hair forward, pull the water. Start pushing the water, lift the water, draw the water back to me a little. And I'm going to turn my hand, extend it out the other way. I'm going to go with my other hand. If I keep moving, it looks like that. I'm going to go with my other hand. Pull. Push first, then lift, then draw, then press. Then the other hand goes. Lift. Now check this out for a minute. Let's put a couple of ideas together that some of you have. So we have this exercise like pulling the bow or drawing the bow. It's like a similar kind of vibe here. So to begin with, we can just move this hand, let the other hand do whatever the other hand's doing, right? But at some point, you might want to be a little more methodical with what you're doing with your arms and your body, right? So when I go here, let's say, just do this one again. We go through here and we pull this one. We do this whole thing. That hand's done now. You want to get it out of the way. Draw it right here to your hip. Now go with this one. This hand will go. Goes around, finishes its business. Press. Now, do you see that position? You have one hand here and you have one hand tucked to your hip. In Qigong, martial art, Tai Chi, you're going to see this type of movement. This really isn't that different from the idea of drawing the bow. You have a drawing that's happening there. This arm is drawing back. This one is extending forward. So let's start with whatever hand you have out. Around. Goes. Picks up the water and pushes the water. There's your positioning, right? Now, get that one out of the way. Just put it on your hip. Go up with the other one. Around. Get up and push it forward. Now, let me show you a subtle detail. Same hand. Subtle detail. Thumb to ear. Comb the hair. Pull back around. Pick up. From this position, draw to you. Rotate the waist. Same side you're pulling the energy to. Just rotate the waist slightly. Then express the energy back. As you're expressing that energy back, some degree of pulling energy with this other hand. Now, other subtle little detail. I'm gonna go with the other hand now. So I'm gonna get this one out of the way. Normally I show you like this when you're a beginner and you just learned. I go thumb to ear, then I go hand on head, and then go. But when you watch me do it, I'm getting a little more flowery. I'm doing a little something subtle. And if you happen to see that, I just want to show you what it is so you can do it. You can do it too. Once you understand the thumb to the ear, you don't need that business. Okay? You're reaching, I reach here. I reach here like I'm bringing, if it's my left hand, like I'm bringing a teacup to my right shoulder. I lift it and I bring it here. So in other words, I get movement with my left hand to my right before I then go back to my left. And then back a palm on head, comes down, and I come around and lift, and I press forward. Now, whatever hand you have out, get that one out of the way. Now, if it's my right hand, instead of just picking it up and sticking it in my ear, I'm actually going to go with my right hand toward my left side. It's a bit of a rotation. See how I'm rotating from the hips? I'm going to my left side to gather that energy. I'm going to take it from my left side. I'm going to start to go clockwise. And then it continues. Whoosh. And then it continues. Whoosh. And then it continues. Whoosh. Now I'm going to get that hand out of the way. I want to go with the other hand. If it's my left hand, I reach toward my right side first, palm up. Now I go back this way. This would be counterclockwise. If there was a clock on the floor and I was standing on it, this would be counterclockwise. Then I'll be moving my hand when I go in that direction. Lift, draw, extend. Good job. Come up, inhale. Exhale, go shh. SH sound as you sing. Shh. Inhale. Shh. Three more. This time, touch your middle fingers together. Shh. Same thing with this one. SH sound, excellent sound to help you concentrate. It also builds heat. With your right hand, sweep to your left side. This is a pull of the bow. Your other hand pushes away. So at home, you guys would be like that. Okay. So in this position, make sure you look, you're firing your arrow that way. And then your left hand moves across. I exhale as I push away. Back. Exhale as you push and pull apart. And look. And when you're ready, as this hand moves across, you can cheat, so to speak, and inhale, a little inhale, and then exhale. And with this one, you can use the SH sound as well. Inhale. Shh. Inhale, coming across. Exhale. When you're ready, come to more straight, tall legs. Inhale. Exhale. A light. And then it like dissipates at the end. All right, a couple of details. First, let's make sure we have enough time to go back to this exercise called uplifting or upholding the sky. And then if we have time, I want to go over another couple of details with this drawing the bow exercise. So in this one, there's a lot of pieces in it. Again, Qigong is a practice where to begin with, you're juggling maybe 2 balls, but then pretty soon it's 3. And then one day it's 4 and 5 and 6. There's 6 balls that you're juggling. You're moving your body in a particular way. You're breathing or not breathing in a particular way. You're grounded, you're rooted, but you're opening and you're expanding here. It's a lot of balls, right? So you have to start somewhere. So this exercise has a lot of details in it. So breathing wise, I'm going to show you an important detail so that you're not causing yourself high blood pressure and you're not causing yourself to feel lightheaded with this exercise. If you practice it where I'm teaching you how to hold your breath in your lower belly, that's the part we need to be careful everybody's doing it right. So from here, this part pretty basic, but we're pulling energy from the ground. We interlace the fingers. If we're inhaling here and you're going to do the part where you hold your breath here in the lower belly, that's what we need to talk about. So right there, when you get to this position, okay, you can let your breath out or whatever. I'm just going to talk to you about it and then we'll try and practice it. So if you're not sure what you're doing with your breath, then just hold this position and then, just go right back to the release. But if you're in a place where you want to practice this, where you breathe in here, slow through the nose, and low to the low belly. If you're doing it that way, when you get to here, the temptation for a lot of folks, they don't even realize it. They keep your hands up or down, whatever, but they fill here, then they fill here, then they stay here instead of tightening that and making it go back down. That will cause you to be lightheaded. Understand? So if you want to try it with a breath like this, it's going to go like this. We go inhale. Now, when I hold my breath, do you hear how I'm pushing it down? I hold it down in my lower belly. I do not keep it up in my lungs. I hold it down, some contraction in my lower belly, and then, I don't hold it up high in the lungs. Even if I am, I've got to push it back down in the belly. I got to get more guttural and I have to hold it down there. 2, 3, 4, exhale. And you can do that with just a little bit of tension. It's nothing crazy. It's just a little bit of tension. And you just push that out of your lungs and you hold your belly a little bit more tight. 2, 3, exhale. So if you want to practice it that way, that's how that one's working. Inhale, reach up. Hold, exhale. Now, detail in this particular exercise. So check this out. This is the first part of me drawing the bow. Right? So take your one hand. I'm going to use my right hand. You can use whatever you want at home. And I come this way. I'm just going to do the first part of that exercise. And if there's a clock here on the floor, I'm going counterclockwise with my right hand. If you're going with your left hand, it's going to be clockwise. So if I'm looking at the floor and there's a clock here, I'm going 11 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 6 o'clock, I'm coming around. And I'm moving this. This is like the drawing of the bow action. 1, and then I would pull, extend. Now, I see a lot of people all the time, and I see some people here too, like sort of like this, or sort of like this, or whatever. Make sure you're centered over your body here. You draw this. When I pull the bow, you don't see me leaning. I mean, sometimes I might lean a little like this, but you don't really see me like square shoulders, straight shoulders, look, hold. Then this hand moves. As that pulls, this one presses. So make sure you have a good posture, spine straight, elongated, so on. Inhale as this hand moves. Exhale. Now, another thing I see people doing. As you go here, inhale, okay, whatever hand. Exhale, and you pull. I see this one all the time. Check out my wrist. Check it out. The chi is broken in the flow through my wrist because my arm is not straight. So you want to make sure it's straight. You don't want to pull stuff back like this. Do you see how I'm like? So I'm like trying too hard. I just want to have good body mechanics. I come here, and this is a pull like this. So this comes here and it pulls like this, not like this, not bent wrist, not arm way up here, rubbing my ear or something. Okay, over here, pull and pull apart like so. Okay, good. And then come across. Excellent. And then come up, inhale, exhale. HEW sound on this breath. It's a little like a sumo. Bring your hands nice, easy, gentle together here, heart-centered space. Be still for a moment. Everything that we did today, everything, has everything to do with meditation. We did moving meditation, we did stillness meditation. We activated the lower dantian, which has to do with spiritual fire. It has to do with the awakening of your own consciousness. It has to do with healing your pain body. It has to do with reducing inflammation in your body. Everything we did was meditation. And to the degree that you practiced mindfully, to the best of your ability, to that degree, did you get the most out of it? As I often say, the more you put into Qigong, the more you get out of it. And again, there are a lot of balls to juggle. So to begin with, if your balance isn't good, don't worry about it. If your form isn't perfect, whose is, don't worry about it. Just practice to the best of your ability. Practice with attitude and practice with inner power and to the best of your ability, balance, observation of breath. But to begin with, just 1 or 2 balls. That's all you're going to be able to juggle. That's more realistic than juggling 6. So everybody be still for a moment, holding a little cherry on top as we close with a quiet meditation, bringing all that energy together. If you created peace in your body and in your being, and your neighbor did also, and then we all join together and we're all sort of holding that vibe, that becomes a strong vibe. It speaks louder than words. And in case you haven't remembered, gravity reaches all the way from here to the moon, from here to the sun. Your chi is just like that. So let it reach out right now, let it expand. Let the peace that you've gathered, the clarity that you've gathered, the strength that you've gathered, let it just emanate from you. Try and tough it out for just another minute with your any sort of tension you feel in your body, whatever you may be challenged with. And then stay with it. And then go ahead and take 3 subtle, slow, easy, deep breaths. And go ahead and lower your hands. Thank you everybody for practicing with me live here. Thank you for everybody practicing with us live at home. We hope you enjoyed the practice. We enter into a month, a whole month, even though we're not necessarily practicing every day together, a whole month of practicing meditation. I cannot think of anything more important out there in the world. I wish I had more time today to tell you about all of it, but I have some other sessions that we'll be doing soon where I'll tell you more about it. And some of you have heard me talk about it. Meditation, true meditation. It changes people's moods. It changes their vibe. It changes decisions that they make. If you can find centeredness in the face of your own chaos, which that's my practice on a regular basis. I'm not claiming to be enlightened. I'm claiming to be living in chaos, doing the best that I can with it. When you center yourself in it like a tree, you begin to have the opportunity to do this thing called alchemy. And that's why you get warm and that's why you get hot, because you're literally shape-shifting your own energy, your own consciousness. And it is infectious in the same way that fear is, only the opposite. Thanks, guys. See you soon. See you next week.